Hopefully this makes sense. And again, today we're on the fifth module, which is the Supplier Success Plan. Now, let me say this. The reason why this is important for those of you out there who are not building your plan, you're building a plan all the time. You're not just building a plan once a year. You're not just building a plan when you remember. You have to become the type of person who can do the thing before you do the thing, right? And becoming is about creating systems that enable you to be great. And so one of the things I'm going to push you all to do is have more hygienic practices around your business. And what that means is have certain things you do every 90 days. So today we're sitting in October. We're going to develop a plan that takes us from October to, I think, end of January. And this particular plan is going to be centered around you being a competitive contractor, right? What do I need to do? Who do I need to know? Where do I need to go? What do I need to learn? Right? What are the things I need to do in what order? And what makes it a plan is that you have an order of steps. Okay. So that's what we're going to go through today. All right, you guys. So in this module, we are going to cover in less than an hour and a half, really 4 components. We're going to cover the contracting opportunity market. Where does your product fit? Are you trying to work in the government space, right? Federal government, local, which is city and county, state, or corporate? And I'm going to have you kind of make some decisions today. And by the way, this is going to be interactive. So even though I'm starting it off, y'all know I'm going to have y'all talking back to me. That's what we do. We're also going to talk about putting together your top 5 hit list, right? So your top 5 hit list, who are the top 5 companies I want to target? Let me tell you this, the number one complaint I get from members is they'll say, well, I haven't been connected to anybody. And I say, well, I don't know who you want to connect to. Well, I want to meet everybody. Well, that's not a plan and that's not a strategy. Everything is not a strategy, right? I can't serve you until you tell me who you want to meet. We need to start targeting who are we going after and why. So we're going to talk about that today. All right. We're also going to talk about your knowledge of RFPs. Where do you find them? Are you positioned to get invited to the bid? Right? An RFP is a request for a proposal. And then we're going to talk about evaluating your resources. So today is all about the action steps. So let's jump into this, y'all. Back in June, when we first rolled this out, we talked about the size and scale of the contracting opportunity market, you guys. And this should be your first slide in your participant guide. And I shared with you that the market is a $750 billion market, right? I also shared with you 14 contracting terms. We talked about NAICS codes and we talked about the 4 sectors of contracting. So here's my question to you. I'm going to kind of walk through this one by one. As far as the contracting opportunity market, are there any action items that you need to do? Do you need to define which of the 4 sectors you're working in? Are you focusing in the next 90 days on corporate? Which is private sector? Are you focusing on your local government, which is your city and county, right? So if you're in South Carolina, I'll just pick that state, right? Then what city are you in South Carolina? And what county do you tie to? There's billions of dollars in the city and county. Some people make all their money only in local. Okay. Are you focusing on federal? Are you focusing on state? So I want you to ask yourself, have you already identified what sector I'm going to focus on for the next 90 days? Because that will shape the next steps. If you say to me, Dawn Nicole, I'm just going to focus on all of them. You got 90 days. That's going to wear you out. Now, let me tell you this. Here's why I wouldn't focus on the federal right now. Because why, guys? What's wrong right now with the federal? Somebody could come off mute. That's a no-brainer. What's wrong right now with the federal?
They're shut down.
Which is why I can't get my name changed to ProcuraFind right now, because the IRS who changes, right? Because they're shut down. That's another story. But yeah, the federal government is shut down, which is the holdup of our rebranding, by the way. But that's another story. So I would not make my short-term focus trying to do anything in the federal space right now. Instead, I would focus on corporate, local, and state. Okay, so this is just a no-brainer. Okay, so ask yourself, have you defined it? So if you've defined this first one, what sector do I play in? Where do I fit? I want to hear from 1 or 2 people. What sector are you going to focus on over the next 90 days? Who can share with me What sector focus? Tasha?
I'm doing local, so city and county.
Good. Can I tell you real fast why that's important? I get so many phone calls from local governments all across the US who say, Donico, please tell them we have bids for them too. Like we get ignored. We're like the stepchildren, right? The local, they're so attracted to the corporate money that they don't know like zoo, recreation, training, education. Miss Teresa, you know about that, right? There's so much in the local space, conflict resolution, gun violence. Maybe you do preventative, right? There's so much, and we just ignore local. All right. So, someone else, what other sectors are you thinking about in the next 90 days? Dr. Monique May?
Yes, ma'am. Hi, everyone.
Hi.
Dr. Monique, physician in the kitchen and co-chair of the products and services COP. But I have a vegan Worcestershire sauce that is low salt, no additives, no preservatives, and allergen free. So I'm trying to get into local and state and schools,
Oh, good. Good,
school
good, good, good.
nutrition. Yep.
Good, good, good. And Dr. Monique May, are you interested? I can't remember if we talked about this. Have you already pitched to or presented your product to the airports, which are state run? Most of them? Have you looked at?
I have not. I'm in a retail space in one of the stores at the airport, but I
Okay.
haven't pitched to the airport. No.
Okay, so let's you and I talk about that offline. We have relationships
Okay.
with the Birmingham airport,
Oh,
Atlanta, Charlotte, Indianapolis, right? So we should be talking about that.
yes,
Okay.
ma'am. I will call
That's,
you.
yep, and that's state run, guys. Anyone
Okay.
else? One more person. Who are we going to focus on? Anybody else? Ty?
Hi, Ty R. Graham with Elevate Impact. I would say corporate in the next 90 days to prepare for the 2026 conferences, a motivational speaker. And so right now
Good.
they are looking for speakers. And so I wanted to focus on that.
Let's talk about that. That's so good. I'm so Ty, it's like you just teed me up to go here. So let's talk about this, you all. And by the way, this is going to influence the November monthly challenge. So if y'all don't know, every single month we do a monthly challenge here at ProcuraFind, and I bet nobody did the October challenge because it's brand new and y'all probably didn't know it. But the challenges are designed to make you money in the month. So make sure you do the challenges. We'll talk about that at the end. Ty, if you're going to go for corporate, the time to do it is in the next 2 weeks. Like next, so like no, next week is week one, and then the first week of November is week two. Get those meetings scheduled, get their attention now because they're checked out. Thanksgiving and Christmas, right? They're taking their time off for the year. However, now is a sweet spot, and so is October. So, your sweet spots for corporate, you all, if your goal is a corporate conversation for next year positioning, do it in the next 2 weeks. Send the emails, go crazy, have you a campaign, Ty, and maybe you will. Like maybe you're using a CRM. I don't know if you are, but we'll talk about that at some point. Taja uses HubSpot. We both use HubSpot. And so I'll be basically make sure you all are doing things at scale so you're not exhausting yourself is my point. So if you're going to build a campaign, build it one time, make it great, right? And then have kind of a step two and a step three. Anyway, my point is for those of you who want to get in front of corporate, you got 2 weeks before people check out and before your email goes to the bottom. Okay. And the reason why now's a good time is they're still having conversations right now, you all, before the holidays about their 2026 numbers. So they've already submitted their numbers, but they're in that stage of editing and revising before they turn them in for the end of the year. Okay. Any questions on that before we move on? Okay. Is there anyone who, so let's talk about commodities codes. So everybody on this call knows their NAICS codes, and I meant to say NAICS code. Everybody has their NAICS codes? Can somebody come off mute and tell me what a NAICS code is? What is a NAICS code? What is that? Anyone? You don't, it doesn't have to be perfect. I'm just curious. Tell a friend. What's your NAICS code?
A next code is basically what properly defines your business.
Very good. She's absolutely right. Thank you. It's good to see you.
Thank
Um,
you.
you're welcome. She's absolutely right, you all. The NAICS code is the descriptor, it's the numeric description of your business. But a commodity code describes the things that your business sells. You want to know both. Very important. Okay. If you don't know your NAICS code, we have a great cheat sheet that we already talked about, but all you got to do is go to ChatGPT if you want the cheat code. Go to ChatGPT or Gemini or whoever you use and use layman's term. Don't try to be super fancy. Give ChatGPT the clinical definition. I do this thing for whom? Please give me any and all NAICS codes that ties to this. And you'd be surprised. ChatGPT will whip you out probably 3 or 4 NAICS codes. Then you will ask ChatGPT, out of these 4 or 5 that you gave me, and thank you, because it likes reinforcement learning, by the way, you will ask it, of these 4 or 5, which one should be my primary? Because a lot of the supplier registration portals are going to be looking for your dominant NAICS code, your primary. And sometimes you can lose bids by using the wrong NAICS code. Okay. Awesome. All right, y'all. So put down any action steps here. So again, before we go to the next one, what are some action steps for this particular slide, the words on the page? Do I need to define which market segment I need to play in? And if I've defined it, do I need to define what companies are in that segment? Because even though Ty said corporate, Ty still has to do some homework. If she got 2 weeks, she's got to whittle it down and say, okay, who really is doing big conferences? Now, how could Ty find that out? I want some of y'all to, because we're talking back to each other. Y'all are too quiet for a Friday. Honey. How can Ty find out now who's got big conferences in 2026? What can she use to find this out?
She can definitely use AI to be able to
Yep.
find conferences. That's the first place.
AI, Sherry, thank you, Tasha.
I was going to say ChatGPT as well, and be very specific. If you're looking at geographical area, if you're looking, a particular niche, but definitely ChatGPT is a great one.
And what about Eventbrite, y'all? What
Oh,
about,
that's good too.
well, yeah, what about Eventbrite?
Mhm.
And then something that we shared only with our VIP Plus members is we talk about a strategy for 2026 about industry conferences, right? So she could look up industry conferences that are industries that you want to be in, Ty. So there are all these ways to get the information fast to whittle it down. Okay.
And,
All
and
right.
probably LinkedIn too would be a good resource.
Yeah, LinkedIn. But the thing is, and Charlene is absolutely right. Thank you, Charlene. The thing is, you got to know what you're searching for on LinkedIn too, though, because you'll go down the rabbit hole. LinkedIn has so much data that you have to understand strategically. Am I looking for companies? A. Am I looking for industries? Am I looking for people? Those are different search tactics. Okay. So you just want to think through that. But that's a really good suggestion. All right, you all, before we go to our next action item, so this one is an action item for your plan that's tied to contracting opportunity market. What are any actions you need to do around this? Okay. We're moving on. The next one, this was our favorite to me, this is my favorite module. We taught this in July. If you missed it, there is an entire playlist where y'all can go back and listen to it. The reason why this one is my favorite is because this one teaches you how to keep a pipeline of corporate clients all year long. This is really important because some of us go after just a few companies, and when we don't get the response we want, we give up. We don't keep it going, but we need to create systems where we become the person. And you're going to hear me talk about that because that's a mindset, because the mindset of becoming, if that's who you are, then this is what you do all the time. And so we taught a strategy in July about how to assess and apply to ideal corporate clients. Okay. So the first thing we talked about, so first I'm going to recap the learning objectives, and then we'll put some actions down here. So number one, when we taught this module, we talked about clarifying your offer. Your offer needs to be so clear that it's clinical. Because what a lot of us do is we've paid a lot of money for marketing, right, Michelle Gatchett? We paid a lot of money for marketing, and we have these expensive marketing companies tell us that we need to say it like this and say it like that. And while that sounds really cute for LinkedIn and Instagram and all the things, at the end of the day, the procurement managers, which are the buyers, the procurement managers, you all, are the buyers of the company are on the front line. And they need to read what you do and hear what you do. And it needs to be so clear that they can go back and communicate it to the teams who are buying. Those teams, so that's their internal customer. Does everybody understand that relationship? That there's kind of a gatekeeper who's talking to me and you. That person is on the front line. Their job is to collect information, to collect your capability statement, to see if you're a good fit, and then to go back to many, many, many of their business units, which are their internal partners, to try to sell Tygram or sell Taja, right? Or sell Miss Teresa or Denola's business. But what's happening is a lot of companies are just not clearly articulating what you do. So my question is, are you as clear as you need to be? Number one, how do you know if you're clear? When someone else can introduce you well. So we're going to play a little game now. Y'all know I love putting y'all on the spot because that's how we learn. Okay. Can somebody tell me what Dr. Monique May sells? Who knows what Dr. Monique May sells? Dr. Monique May is our COP co-chair for our products in retail. And she always talks about what she sells. Does anybody know what she sells? Can someone tell me that's not her?
She sells vegan Worcestershire sauce.
Yeah,
All right.
right.
Who
That's low
said
in
that?
sodium.
Wait, who said? I need to know who look, I got a bunch of names.
Danita,
Danita, look at you being her BFF right now. She sells Okay. And Tasha, what else does she sell?
No, I said it was low in sodium. I just, or when she was just talking about it just now, it's low in sodium.
You gotta add that part. So she sells low in sodium vegan Worcestershire sauce. Okay. All right. Is there anything else that she sells, Danita, that we missed? Or is that if we were introducing her, is there anything else or did we nail it? Is there anything else that we think she sells before we ask her? Charlene?
Did she say she was a physician in the kitchen?
I love this. She did. Let me tell you why I love this. So, because you don't know, you can tell me all day, I'm super clear, but until you ask someone else to introduce what you do, you haven't tested it. You got to do that, right? So, Charlene, I love that you asked that question because Dr. Monique May, who's a real physician in real life, she uses the branding because she's a real life physician in her waking life in medical. She uses as a cute branding term, I'm the physician in the kitchen, but she's actually not selling medical services in the kitchen. But so Charlene, you did hear that right. So Dr. Monique May, please come off mute and tell us if we got that right. Dr. Monique May, are you there? She may not be. That's fine. So anyway, this is how you know if somebody is understanding your offer clearly, okay? So my question to you is your offer clear enough, and have you tested it? That's the first question. The next thing is, have you, each of you built out your top 5 list? And I want to just talk about this real fast because if you haven't built out your top 5 list for the next 90 days, now is the time to do it. So I'm curious to know how many people, by either a show of hands on the screen, have their top 5 list for the next 90 days. How many people have a top 5 target of companies? Okay. So we got Cherie, we got Katrina. Who else? Top 5. Anybody else? These are 5 companies you definitely want to go after in 90 days. Danita, you got yours? Okay. All right, Sherry, I'm sorry, I keep messing up. Sherry, come off mute and tell us your top 5 lists.
Yeah, so my top 5 list, two of them are local government. So one is within the county, the other is within the city. I am looking to go after Kroger, which is corporate, and I'm also looking at going after Eli Lilly. And then the 5th one is also looking into, let me look at my notes real quick.
That's okay.
Walgreens.
And tell us what you offer and where you're located too, because I think this proximity will help everybody on the call.
Yes, so I am an executive coach and consultant. I offer coaching one-on-one as well as workshops. I help leaders silence their inner critic so they can lead with clarity, confidence, and resilience. I have a background in emotional intelligence, positive psychology, and help individuals become burnout immune.
Okay. And so based on that, based on what you offer, the 5 companies you chose are the right 5 companies because of what? What is the work or the research that you've done that tells you, you know what? I'm going to start with these 5 because this is how we learn. I think people need to hear the process of how you selected your 5.
Yes, so I chose them because a lot of them are in the helping profession, and there's countless research out there that shows that individuals who are in this profession are more likely to, unfortunately, be in burnout. So that is what drew me into those 5 companies.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Anybody else want to share their top 5? And if you don't have your top 5 identified yet, that becomes an action item. And if you're not as clear as you want to be, and you need to test it, that becomes an action item at the bottom of this page. Katrina, please share your top 5 list.
Hi, good morning, everybody. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, you sound great.
Okay, okay, good. So I actually have been working on this for some time, gathering my top five, and I actually finalized my information because I have particular workshops to send to these groups of people. So I'm a legal business consultant, in case people don't know. I always say I do all things legal in your business from the beginning of you starting it all the way to franchising and expansion. But there's a lot of things in the middle of that. So I decided to take some of those services that I see are lacking in some of the events I've attended and cohorts and create my top five. So the number one is ProcuraFind. You guys
Oh,
are my number one.
okay.
Then it would be the Indiana Chamber as well as the Indiana Black Chamber, Indiana Black Expo, Mid States, and also an organization called Spark. I picked these groups because these are all groups that hold business cohorts, business education, things of that nature. And it's always missing one important thing. A lot of it is contracts, and a lot of it is contracts, how to read them, negotiate them. That is my niche. So I decided to create specific workshops just for these type of organizations so they can share this with their other groups and members and things of that nature because it's a continuous need.
So, first of all, let me clap it up for you all sharing. Let me give you some love there. Thank you for sharing that, Katrina. So, this is what I heard, and this is what I love about what Katrina said. And I'm going to challenge you all. If you don't know, the October challenge that came out at the top of the month was asking every single small business within ProcuraFind to pick one thing in your industry that's missing. What is a pain point? It's either a pain point that's public information or it's missing. Taja, as you think about what you offer, Katrina, you just said a great thing. You said all of these organizations have this, but typically they're missing X, right? If you followed the October challenge was challenging each of you to determine and identify what in your industry is missing and how do you overcome that? How can you provide it? And then don't just observe how you provide it, put on social media all throughout the month of October, right? Because it's a two-part challenge, identify it, and then go on social media and say, many organizations who provide speaking or coaching or fractional sales do a great job, but they always miss this one thing. Here at ABC Company, we do X to overcome that. So that's not the case. So if you follow the challenge, you would have had some interest by now. So just so y'all know, our challenges are designed, and we have a new one coming out for November for you to tap into hidden revenue. These are not just like I picked them out of a Girl Scout cookie hat or a Chinese, you know. So I just want y'all to know we literally have thought critically about how can our platform make money every single month by using these challenges. So I just want, and so if you don't know where to find them, they're always going to be in your Marketplace Monday email all month long. So if you go back and look at your Marketplace Monday, the challenges are in there with the video we created to challenge you to do it. Just so you know. My point for saying that is Katrina hit it on the head when she said the reason I chose these organizations is they already do X, which means they have an appetite for what I offer, but they're missing X. She's absolutely right. That's how you get in the door. What are the companies you want to work with missing? Don't offer them more of what they have. Identify the gap. Work on the gap. Get yourself in with the gap. I literally just had this conversation with the potential corporate partner this morning at 9 o'clock, right? Where he didn't need all the stuff we offer as a community, but he did need the vetting. He's like, I have hundreds across the nation of suppliers, but Dawn Nicole, me and my team don't have time to vet them. Even if we hire ProcuraFind for the third party vetting, that's the deal. Identify the gap, follow the gap. Okay. Awesome. All right, let's keep going. So, top five lists. So, by a show of hands, does everybody have their top five lists or will people work on their top five lists? If you need to work on it, let me see your hand too. If you need to work on your top. Okay, I love y'all's honesty. Okay, so you're going to work on it. All right, so put that down as an action item, you all. Next, number 4, Sean. Oh, I thought Sean had a question. Okay. Number 4 on this list, register to do business. I'm going to tell you all something. Once you identify the 5 companies that you want to work with, this part is so important. I want you all to register to do business with them. That is important. Now, what do I mean by that? Every company in America has, you have to find it because it's hidden in plain sight. They have opportunities for third-party vendors. That's you. They have opportunities for suppliers. That's you. They have opportunities for external contractors. That's you. They all call it something different, but the word is used interchangeably. Vendor, supplier, contractor, all you. If you sell a product, service, or good to these companies, that is you. Now, you're going to find out, trust me when I tell you, mark my word, that with the rollback of DEI, you may see the word supplier evaporate because it is synonymous right now with DEI. So I just want to put y'all on some game right now. For the last 10 years, we've been using the word like minority suppliers, diversity suppliers. Well, now that they rolled back DEI, you all, companies are are they still calling it supplier, or do they like better the word vendor? Some of these companies where you can't find their supplier registration portal, instead, I want you to look up third-party vendor. How do I become a third-party vendor? Same thing with the airport. Third-party vendor with construction or whomever. That's what you need to look up. You need to know what to research to get to what you want. Okay, so that's the part. Now, once you've identified companies you want to work with, why am I telling you that the very first step is to register? Why am I telling you this? Here's why. When you go on LinkedIn and you make a connections request, Ty, it's a real different message when you say, hi, my name is Ty Graham. I'm the founder of Go Be Great, and I am a registered supplier with your company. What? You are not just Ty Graham, I'm a looky-loo. I'm just wasting your time today. I already put in some value and work before I came to you. It is a lot stronger of a message to say, our company is already a registered supplier. Would you be open to meeting with me on October 18th or November 18th, right? And I love you. By the way, I have to give some of y'all my LinkedIn scripts on how I get these big companies. I don't send a long message this big. I send a teeny tiny message to draw interest. I'm very good at it. I promise you, right? I'm not good at everything, but I know what I'm good at. And mine ends with the open-ended. Mine says, I say, we are already a registered supplier with your company. I've been following you. You've got an expo coming up in February. Show that you've been researching the page. Would you be open to a conversation with me on October, right? November. And I just leave it. I don't oversell. I don't send links. Those things will get you blocked. I don't send an attachment. I wait to be invited in. There's a technique to this. There's levels to this. So my point is register. Register is your first step, period. Then have the conversation. It gives you immediately more asset value. Are there any questions about this one? Is there anyone who, as an action item, you need to go register? If that's you, you need to register and you're okay. So put that down as an action item. One of the things I'm going to do over the next week or 2 weeks is I'm going to register in 5 supplier portals. So that becomes an action item here. By the way, at the end of this document, we're going to tally up all the actions to make it a 90-day plan, in case you're wondering how we're going to get to it. Okay. Any questions on registration portals about how much time it takes? Because that's another thing. A lot of us, and I'm saying that us, we will go to register and we will see that it's going to take an hour and a half worth of time. And then we say, I'm going to come back to this. And then we don't. And that's called fallout. So I want to make sure that I set you all up for success. You need to book and make it a part of your strategy, especially at the end of the year here, as we're coming to a close. I'm going to register in 5 companies' portal that I have my eye on. I'm going to do this in 2 weeks. And dang it, if I have to do 1 a day or 1, so that at the end, by Friday, I've done 5. That's what you need to do. Okay. All right. Ty, I see your hand up, and then Angie.
Thank you, Donna Nicole. So I've never done the registration before. So how, I guess, easy is it to find it, or are there keywords for me to put in so I can get right to it?
So we're going to do 2 things. At the end of this, I'm going to go back. One of the things is, Ty, in the email that we sent you getting to this call, there are all of the recordings of the ones we did. The one that really breaks this down deeply is going to be assessing and applying to ideal clients, module 2, you'll see it. It looks just like what's on the page. If you go there, it literally walks you through. So the first thing I want to do is empower you with where to find it. The second thing I want to do now is answer your question. What you have to do is take the company that you want to work with. So let's say that is for you, let's just say it's American Cancer Society. Let's say that you want to be a magnificent motivational speaker for their galas. By the way, I'm putting you on game. They do galas every single year in all of their markets. So you should absolutely let them know about you. But anyway, let's just say that you wanted to focus on getting in front of American Cancer Society, which is a nonprofit. Okay. You would put in American Cancer Society, third-party vendor or speakers, right? And you would just research using real words, you guys, that you would ask somebody a question about. And so, or you would say Bank of America registration portal, supplier registration portal. So the keywords are supplier registration portal, third-party vendor registration portal, contractor registration portal. Use those 3 keywords because different companies use them interchangeably. And then you will be directed to a private page. And I don't know why they make this private, but they do make y'all work to get there. You will be directed to a private page, Ty, which will literally give you information about their third-party program first to make sure you qualify. Then it usually points you to a link to register your business. So you're registered as a vendor. Then you'll get the rest, a password and everything to add your information. So I would say per company, you want to plan for an hour to an hour and a half with each supplier portal. You also want to create a folder with all the same information because you're going to just reuse the same information across all 5 companies. Okay. Angie, you have a question.
Thank you, Dr. Donna McCall. This is really helpful. Now, I have HubSpot as well, and I have a VA that does like lead generation with lists and just sending out like an email campaign. But this seems very much more targeted, what you're saying about researching the companies and looking and being registered already. So how do you kind of balance that? So if you have somebody that's working on lead generation, you can't do all that research. Are you saying like probably just your top 5, invest in those, do more of the research, and the other ones just kind of send it out and see what happens?
That is absolutely correct, Angie. And for everybody on this call, that's a great question because what she's really asking is, okay, I got HubSpot, which is about scale and quantity, right? So to me, the CRMs are about quantity, and they should be. But then you all, when you start playing a corporate game, it's going to be about quality. These are relationship driven. This is different. To me, HubSpot is good when you're just trying to, gauge interest in a major market, right? But what we're teaching you is to be strategic. And strategic is not an everybody play. It's a certain somebody play, right? And so you need a little bit of both in your life. And so, Angie, what we're teaching, and I recommend everybody go back, look at the playlist we sent you. The one that you want to deep dive, because it gives you all the how-to steps, is assessing and applying to ideal corporations. It teaches you a system, Angie, where you can focus on 5 companies every 60 days. So like you'll start today, right? And you'll work those 5 leads yourself. Like there's research involved. You're going to follow them on LinkedIn. You're going to look up the people on LinkedIn. So it's a very strategic way to get in front of these 5 companies. Now you should still have your HubSpot people doing it at mass over here, but you are working it. It needs to be you. It needs to be the person who understands your business operating in this space. Or maybe you have a virtual assistant. So maybe you have somebody who's doing the HubSpot stuff, but then you have someone very close to your business and you're going to teach him or her, hey, the part of this 5 strategy, this 5 list strategy that I want you to do is do the registration portal. You don't have to be the one uploading the docs, but you do need to be the one who says, I'm going to go after these 5 companies. Here's why. Here's what I'm going to research on to make sure I'm a good fit. Once you clarify it in that way or qualify it, then give it to your person, your VA, to do the uploading of the registration portal for these 5 companies. Does that make sense where you can divvy it up?
Yes, it does. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any more questions on this one? Because we want to turn these into action items. The goal of this is write down what you need to do at the bottom. Any more questions or comments about this? Taja, would you share how you use HubSpot today? I know you're a big HubSpot proponent and you are in this world. Can you just share what are some reasons why you would use a HubSpot? Can you just shed light on that? No, you can't? Okay.
Sure. Yes, I can share. So HubSpot for me is used in various ways. One, if I want to track activity against what is a client or a prospect that I've been working with, it allows me then to see all of it congruently. It's something that I share with clients all the time, especially if they have multiple interactions within their business with multiple team players. Everyone can see in real time who was the last one to talk to Dr. Don Nicole and what was the conversation. So it helps to be very transparent. The other thing that I utilize it for is to really track what is my forecast? What am I projecting that I want the year or that quarter or that month to close at in billing? So I have my billing system, but outside of that, you need a place for the forecasting. And so that's where I do my forecasting. And more importantly, from a standpoint of prospecting, if you have a certain level of HubSpot, you can do sequencing and it makes it very automated. I'm a big believer of automating tasks if we don't need to do it ourselves. And so if you put in the communications and you want to mass communicate that against, one of your 5 targets, especially if it's a multiple location type situation. Like for me, one of my targets right now is CDFIs. So I'm identifying CDFIs that I'm going to put into the system and then start sequencing communications to them so that I stay top of mind with them. So those are some of the ways
I
that
love
I
that.
effectively use it.
I love that. And then I'll talk about how we use it as a corporation and when we don't use it, like just the difference. Because I think Angie's asking a really important question. When do I use a premium deep touch versus high touch? And I think that's how we think about it. HubSpot is high touch, right? It's high touch. I'm not going deep. I'm kind of putting in a list. Here's why, here's the campaign. Here's what I'm after. Boom, put it in a HubSpot. But when do you need a deep touch strategy? So earlier this year in March, we came across a list of like 500 previous supplier diversity people. Now, we all know that supplier diversity got rolled back, right? But these were people who held those positions across the US. And because I just didn't have time, we don't have time yet to figure out who wants to play ball, we put together a campaign at the top, at the highest level, that basically introduces who we are, ProcuraFind, and it allows people to book a time if they're interested. So HubSpot is a great starting point if you don't have time to boil the ocean, so to speak, because your list is so big, your target is that wide, and now you can get more granular on the people who are interested. You can determine people who do show interest, what those next steps are. So I think that's just a good way to think about it. Sean has a question in the chat, and he asked a good question. Sean, if you want to come off mute, I think what you're asking is, once you register in the supplier portal, how do you gain visibility to their other divisions or to other companies? Do you want to just clarify your question, Sean, so I can answer it properly? I think that was Sean's question. Sean, I don't know if you're on mute, but I think it was you who had the question. So I'll say this while Sean is muted. When you register, that's not where it stops. And that's what we are doing wrong, you guys. We are building a list, and then we are registering in a supplier portal, and then we're waiting for it. We're like, okay, I'm done, right? That's wrong. The supplier registration is where it starts. What we teach you, if you go back to this video, what you're supposed to do next, you all, is literally within days or sometimes same day of registering, you literally want to take the conversation to LinkedIn. You want to go to LinkedIn. You want to follow the company. This is so important. Follow their activity on LinkedIn, right? You want to work with Coca-Cola? Follow them, right? Now that you followed them, it will unlock all of the upcoming events. You want to be in the know. What is Coca-Cola talking about, right, Miss Teresa? What do they care about this year? Do they have expos and events? You want to make yourself be all knowledgeable as much as you can about the company you want to work for. Then it doesn't stop there. Once you follow them, you want to identify who are the people, right? And so how you can find this out is on LinkedIn, and we have great videos that show you how. I won't have time to do this today, but I can tell it to you. When you go on LinkedIn and you follow a company, there's also a tab on the company page called People. That's a very important tab for you, because when you go to People, it allows you to search on people in procurement, people who are program managers. Now, why on earth am I telling you to get friendly with program managers? Because not everybody who has a title of procurement manager are the only ones who have the money for people. Program managers and project managers are in charge of the budget. Are y'all picking up what I'm putting down? Because y'all are real quiet for a Friday. I mean, I don't know. Is this thing on? What I'm trying to say is that project managers and program managers manage the money and the budget. That means they also have purview into the need to run that project. They know if speakers are needed in 2026. They know if an IT company is needed or a CPR company for the project. So it's company, follow the company on LinkedIn. Make sure you become knowledgeable of what the company's talking about. Make sure you become knowledgeable of the people, and then you introduce yourself to a handful of people who are in the right position: procurement managers, supplier sourcing agents, right? Buying managers, purchaser. These are literally their titles. Program managers, project managers, and you're going to introduce yourself and say, "I'm a registered supplier." You just got 10 brownie points just for I'm a registered supplier. Our company is a registered supplier. We follow the page. We see a few upcoming events, and we want to know if you'd be open to a call with us so we can better understand how we can support some of the initiatives. Are you open to speaking with me on November 4th? Open-ended, right? You're not asking for much. And I will sometimes say, are you open to a 15-minute call? Why? Because people are busy. Yes, the call is going to turn into 30 minutes, but you don't have to say that. You can say, are you open to a quick 15-minute call so I can better understand? If they're interested, they're going to say, yes, here's my email. Literally, I get many of my deals, the big companies that I bring to you all, using the strategy. It works. Sean, what questions do you have?
Yeah, that's good. I don't know if this also work like similar to like MSPs as well,
Yeah.
because we do have client that we are servicing, but like if they're like a big national one, it's like even like if you're just wanting to go to another market, there's no
Yeah.
that's where
There,
it kind of
there's no visibility. So MSP, master service plan, correct?
yeah.
Yeah, because not everybody knows that. Yeah. So you guys, MSP, what Sean is referring to, especially in like medical and tech, a lot of these companies have master service plans where they pull together all of the needs from their departments to create one master plan so that the procurement needs are not one-offs, right? They're not these small things, but they pull the needs together by whole groups, right? And then you have a master service plan. So Sean's question is, hey, if we're in the hospitality space, we do hospitality staffing, right? And labor and that sort of thing. Is that right? So if we register with the Omni Hotel, we go on their portal, or Hyatt, and we register in their supplier portal, how can we also have visibility into maybe some of their partnering companies or DBAs or companies that, right? How do we do that? And I will tell you, Sean, that usually the portal covers the whole brand. So unless it's a different brand, the portal, when you register in the portal, you do have all those buying managers who has access to one portal. But what the work you will want to do is when you follow the company
Yeah.
on LinkedIn, you will want to follow multiple managers tied to that. So multiple people in different states with that same, right? And then you will still use the same technique. Our company is a registered service provider or supplier in your portal today. We follow your company. We're interested in this specific initiative. Are you open to a 15-minute call with me next week, November 8th? I promise you, when you put a date there, instead of leaving it wide open, you put a few dates. Usually people will say, you know what? Yeah, that sounds great. Here's my email. Or I can't do the 8th. I can do the 14th, right? You get them thinking already about meeting with you. Any questions or comments before we move past this one? So everything I just laid out is the strategy for this. So what are the action items that we've got to work on in 90 days? So now what you do down here is you write down, man, I got some work to do. I need to register in portals. I need to like some Facebook page, reach. So does anyone want to share a few action items before we go to our next page? Anybody want to share?
I can share mine.
Okay, Tasha.
I already follow some of the people. So what I need to do is look and see what activities they have coming up and then reach out to them. Like you said, just do the LinkedIn strategy. And some of them I have their personal, well, not personal, their company emails. So I don't have to do LinkedIn. I could just send them an email about what they have coming up next year and set up an appointment with them.
I'm going to tell you to do both, and I'm going to tell y'all why.
Okay.
You would be surprised. There are some people whose email is buried and they are not email people. And then, like, and I literally have a guy who works at Ally Bank. I'm not going to say his name. He will respond faster in LinkedIn message than he will in his email. So I would say you make sure you're using both as you're watching your top 5 list and you're managing this list. Okay.
Yes.
Great strategies. Anybody else want to share before we move on? Any action items that have come from this page?
Yeah, for me, my action item would definitely be identifying my top 5 because I'm in such like a broad space. So I need to identify my top 5.
Yeah, what space are you in? Let's share a little bit more. This is good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm in interior decor design. So that's kind of like it can go with a lot of companies because everybody needs a nice, beautiful space.
Yeah.
So yeah, I want to identify my top 5 and really hone onto it. So
I'm so curious to see who should I call you T?
yeah, you can call me
Okay, T. Yeah, it's so clear and obvious, right? It's T-E-E-E-E. So if you don't T, okay. So T, I'm so curious to know who your top 5 is going to be. I'm really interested because you could go a number of ways in interior design. You are
yeah.
not, yeah.
And so how I'm thinking about approaching it would be more so of my kind of okay. How I'm thinking about approaching it is kind of like because it's so broad, like things that I know that I have like a love for, a passion for, where I can really exuberate like my creativity, if that makes sense.
Yeah. Well, let me ask y'all this. Okay, so how many, we're gonna have some fun today. Y'all are too quiet for me. Y'all know I go get some coffee, stretch, do a yoga pose. I don't know what you need. But listen, wake up, y'all, because we are helping each other today. This is great. So T, I want to know how many people would tell you that one of the things you want to keep your eye on, America is building right now. There's a lot of building. It seems like to me that you should absolutely be friends with developers and builders. And what I would do for
Actually,
you,
real estate agent as well, so I know some developers.
yeah. Well, one of the things that I would do that's super obvious in our community is we have a ton of general contractors and builders. And where there's builders, they have projects coming and they can already identify these. So this is where I'm going, you all. Sometimes we, not saying you're doing this, T, but this is just making me be on one right now. I'm on one, okay? I'm on a tangent right now. Sometimes we try to invent the opportunity ahead instead of looking at what is already there for us to leverage. And so, T, one of the things I would say to a person like you is the reason why I would definitely connect with builders right now and even ask ProcuraFind who are the builders in the community, Dr. Dawn Nicole, that you can give me a list of, right? And of course, I will only do that once I see your business capability statement because, you know, I have to vet you first. But what I would absolutely do is connect you to our builders because they already have projects that they can point to. They already know what's coming in this market and that market and by which month and which year. You see what I'm saying? And you want to introduce and say, hey, I would like to be the interior designer that is considered. How can I become, a prioritized ProcuraFind? We're both in the ProcuraFind community. How do I get prioritized for these opportunities? And I would be having those conversations right now. And that's a slam dunk. You ain't got to go find it. You ain't got to invent it. It's already right here. So.
Okay, cool. So.
Okay. So you know what to do. Get your capability statement in order, send that to me and maybe a brochure and let's you and I talk again on Talks on Demand, which is going to be in November. Okay. All right. Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. All right. Does anybody else have any action items from this slide before we move on? Anybody else? Somebody had a question around HubSpot too, so we'll get back to that. Ty, go ahead.
Yeah, so just like T, I'm going to identify the 5 companies, especially within, like you said, that 2-week period of sending out emails. And if they do have a portal to register, and then follow them on LinkedIn. And then lastly, to research any conferences that are coming up within the next couple weeks.
That's so good. Now, the reason why I'm having you all write down your action items per page is because on the last slide, we're going to consolidate them and pick the most important ones to focus on. It's going to create your 90-day plan. You see how I'm doing that? You're doing it page by page so that we have a holistic plan. Okay, next we're going to talk about the hard stuff. And although y'all are telling me all the time, this isn't hard. The companies are telling me, the partners are saying, Dawn Nicole, this is where the small businesses are falling out. They do not know how to adequately respond to the opportunity. So RFP stands for a request for a proposal. I don't want to overcomplicate it at all. All this is, Sean, and you probably know this, is a company who says, Sean, I like what you offer. I like what you had to say. I'm going to send you a request for proposal. Propose me, make me an offer based on our conversation, based on what you learned about the opportunity today. I'm going to send out an RFP, right? I'm going to put out a bid. I want you to tell me how you would do it if you were doing this for us. What does your solution look like? What does it cost? How would you do it? So again, what is the solution? What does it cost? How would you do it? Okay. And of course, who are you? Right? Like very basic. Who are you? What is your solution to our problem? Not, and this is where we go wrong, guys. We already have this script in our head of how we do what we do. And we take that same tired script sometimes and we just put it out there and be like, here you go. Here's my offer. Here's what it is. And it's cookie cutter. The companies are saying, no, we just spoke or you just read the opportunity. Who are you? So who are you is really saying what qualifies you. I want y'all to know that's who are you is not, oh, we're a cute boutique company in the middle of Idaho. That's not what they're after, right? Who are you is really asking what qualifies you to hold space here. And it's not so much of a challenge as it is an opportunity for you to say, we are uniquely positioned to do this thing because, right? We are experts in this space. We have 25 years of proven experience. We have proven outcomes in 90 days, proven outcomes, and start to quantify that. So the who are you is really a quantifier. Okay, why are you the right one to talk to? Who are you? Okay, then what is your solution to my problem? And I'm just getting you to think about RFP this way. What is your solution to my problem? And how would you approach it if you owned the work? How would you do this? I want to know. I want your creative juices here. How much would you charge me? Right? And also include some timelines. So as we think about RFP, it is not as difficult as we make it out to seem. The reason why we're dropping the ball here and we're losing is we're not reading the scope of work before responding. We're breezing through it. An RFP is very critical. It's not just about reading what the client is really struggling with and then responding to it with your solution. It's also about looking at the technical requirements. Who knows what I mean by technical requirements of an RFP? Can anybody guess? It's not about perfect. An RFP both has the problem that it needs you to solve, but it also has some technical things that you need to meet. What might be technical requirements? Does anybody know? Or
Yeah,
want
like
Yep.
yeah, I mean
Yeah.
the key
Go ahead,
just want to make sure you're really following directions.
Yep.
Because even like how to submit it, some are like there was one that we did. Well, they want you to mail stuff in, and that may be something that we're going away from.
Yeah.
Real details. So it's just you gotta really be particular, like when you're following one, when you're submitting it.
Yeah. Thank you, Sean. That's absolutely right. Danita, another technical requirement.
Font size.
Yep. It's the instructions. Like it's not, I know when we think technical, we think equipment and hardware, right? But for them in this world, a technical requirement is all of the kind of hard requirements, instructional requirements outside of the need itself. So if they say to you, hey, this needs to be faxed, emailed, and mailed, you better make sure you saw all three, or you're going to miss the technical requirement. If they say the font size needs to be 12 point times Roman, don't you give me Helvetica 14, right? Y'all know some of us just doing stuff, oh, got it submitted, right? And we missed out because we didn't read that thing, okay? Here's another requirement that we miss sometimes, Tasha, is that, this has happened to me when I was a newbie, right? I remember me and my husband, like we put a whole team together for a federal government contract, and we spent we spent time on it, like a week, only to get to a certain point and realize it needed to be submitted like tomorrow. And we didn't, right? And we should have looked at that first. So now there are checklists that we give you all that help you, to understand upfront, do I have time to do this? Right? Do I have time to respond to this? When is it due? That's an important question. right? What are the types of documents they're going to want? Do we have time? Am I going to have to request them from Michelle's company? Where's Michelle Gatchett, my data friends? Michelle helps you pull public records. I don't see her face on the camera right now. But so this is why it's important to not just read the requirements, but read the technical requirements, the fine print. Oh, and here's another one. Does it say not to list past companies for privacy reasons, only list them as high level industry? And did you get cute and list names, Christy and Renee and Tom? You just X yourself out because some of them will tell you don't list personal information. Okay. Any questions on this one so far?
I
On the
want to
R-
say one more thing.
yeah.
Nicole, I just looked at the RFQ and they want you, when you have questions, like don't call them. They want you to email them. They don't want you to flood them with phone calls. Like send an email. And that's
Yeah.
really important too. They can help you with being able to get those more technical, really tiny things that they're looking for. You can
Yeah.
just send an email.
And what if you send them a question on something that's already been answered? You look like you're not paying attention. Because the other thing about these, you all, is they have a running FAQ of all the questions. It's someone's job legally, just so you know, this is a legal thing. When you see a RFP and it's up for public bid, people sue over RFPs and RFQs. So they have to do things by the book. This is the real deal. So here's my question to you in order to formulate your action items at the bottom. What is your current level of comfort with responding to RFPs? Right? Give yourself a 1 through 5. 1 is high. Hey, I'm good. I'm a pro. I'm ready. Right? 4 is I don't know if I'm ready, but I'm willing to learn. I can, I've done a few and I'm good. I'm a nice learner, right? 3 is I got some more work to do. 2 is I need some help. And wait, I may have gone the other way. I'm sorry, y'all. I went, y'all know what I'm trying to say. I messed myself up. But determine your real comfort level with RFPs. And if you say down in the action items, I'm not comfortable and my goal is to get more comfortable, what are you going to do to practice? How can you practice? I will tell you how. We have a couple of ways. Number one, we have a whole module on responding to RFPs. It's on our YouTube page. Can one of our ambassadors just put our YouTube channel in the chat so that people can get access to this? We have a whole bunch of videos on RFPs. What's the difference between an RFQ and an RFI? So I would say practice. This is one of those things that the more you do it, the more comfortable you get. If you all would like me to send you a sample RFP to respond to so you could have something in your hand and practice responding, I will gladly do that. We also have a whole online course that teaches this as well. So remember, get the book, get the course, and just get your learning on. Okay, because that's the only way to learn is just by practicing. All right. Here's another question for you. Do all of you on this call have a fee schedule? If right now I wanted to do business and I said, give me your fee schedule by 1 o'clock, do y'all have a fee schedule? How many people have a fee schedule? It's already ready to go. So Angie does, Ty does, who else? Fee schedule? Danita does, Stacy does. Okay, Tasha does. So can somebody tell me what is a fee schedule? For those who maybe don't have a fee schedule, what is a fee schedule, really? Just simplified. Anybody?
It's your fees for your services.
Yep, it's just real simple. It's a document that is an overview of the fees for your services. If you don't have this, so here's the thing, if you don't have this, then this is looked at because there's a lot of people who will say, send me your fee schedule. And if you don't have it, you're going to have to go create it. And without one, you're going to keep making up things. Now, some of you are going to say, well, Donica, my fees are so customized. It just really depends. Honey, you need to have a benchmark. It don't depend. Right? And I'm just being very honest because I get that you're going to charge per project. You still need a benchmark that is delivered and driven based on what you've charged historically. You should have done enough business by now where you have an idea, an estimate of what it costs to do the thing. That's all people, it's transparent pricing, right? Now, can you go up and down with your fees? Yes. Can you add on a la carte? Yes. But a benchmark shows that you're a pro. For if someone says I have no idea what my fees are based on, that looks like an amateur move. And I'm just being very don't kill me, right? I'm just a messenger. I'm telling you that in this world, having a fee structure and a fee schedule is a big boy move. It looks mature, like a mature business. Gwen, you have a question.
Yes, most of the time, well, as far as photography and videographing, we use contracts, based on that first consultation. So I'm trying to understand more about how to structure it for like that fee schedule that you're referring to. Is it broken down by, they pay a certain amount per month, to get before the event or
That's
something
a
like
good
that?
question. So here's why that's a good question. So I'm gonna go back, I'm gonna go to your consumer. So basically, here's the question. Gwen is saying, I have a consumer side, right, where people pay us, and then I'm also trying to position myself for corporate, right? Basically, it is that's what you're saying is, and I think many of us probably do. Some of us do, right? Some of us have a consumer side, and then you have the B2B or business to corporate or government, right? And I would challenge you lovingly, because I'm not telling y'all what to do. I would say, even for your consumer side, you've probably done enough business, Gwen, where you have a relative idea of how much you want to charge, not just how much things cost. Let me be real clear, because only we sometimes will only value that on what it costs. And I'm telling you, what would you like to make? Right? That's a difference that not just what it costs, but what does it take to make you get out of bed happy for the thing? Right? So whatever that is, I would go back historically, Gwen, to even the consumer side and start to identify on average how much people are spending for this. If it's weddings, it's this. If it's for a corporate, that is a mature model, right? To start to benchmark what you've been charging. Then what you do for corporate photography, a couple of things you can do so that me and you don't reinvent the wheel here. You chat GPT and you put in your residential stuff, your consumer stuff. I would add it to the chat. When I ask my question, y'all, I give it as much information as it needs to give me a valuable answer. I would say, Gwen, hey, chat GPT, this is what I'm currently charging for my consumer business, right? We are looking at pivoting to corporate. Help me translate what we do to the corporate market. What are they charging? What are other corporate photographers charging? What does pricing structure look like in the corporate space? So I could just tell you now, or we could have super intelligence tell you, which is even better. That's how I would do. And what I do know is when it comes to corporate photography, it is time. So they're going to consider time. They're going to consider travel. They're going to consider the fact that you're going to pay a certain deposit to retain my team for that day. They're going to consider how many subjects you're going to be right capturing. So those are factors, but just do some research on corporate photography is what I would say. Does that help?
Okay. Yes, because mainly, like we say, we do contracts, we talk with the clients, and then we agree on what we're going to be doing, and then we provide them a price in the contract. So, like for fee schedules, is it like spreadsheet kind of
Yeah,
format?
it is. I'll send it to you after this because I have some
Okay.
examples of one-page documents. But
Okay.
even to that point, and I'm glad Gwen is asking this question because even though you should still talk, when you all are talking and you're doing what's called the discovery call, which is what Gwen is describing, it's a discovery call. You still have in the back of your mind a benchmark of what your prices are. You still should. You still do, right? And all the conversation does with the person is let you know where you need to customize some
Right.
things. You see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I will send you a sample of a fee schedule. Okay.
Okay. All right.
All right.
Thank
So
you.
you're welcome. So you all, in the interest of time, go ahead and put any action items you have here. Number one, what is your current level of comfort with RFPs? Do you have a fee schedule or do you need to create one? Do you have a proposal template or a master document? Oh, this is good. Do we have proposal templates, y'all? What is that? That means you have something with your logo and letterhead on it that you send to people. And even if we're doing it nowadays in email, I still back it up with a PDF doc. I send an email and then I say, see attached. I just sent one at 9 o'clock this morning. I'm not playing games, y'all. Okay. So I would recommend have a proposal template that makes you look like a pro and not an amateur. What partners can you team with to increase competitiveness? In all of your markets right now, you're looking at it. Each of you all are located in different states, some of you in same states, but how could you maybe work together? Right? How can people on this call who are executive coaches and trainers know about each other? Because let me tell you something, even though in the small business world, we can be sometimes, some of us, not all of us, crab apples, and we don't want people to know our business. In the corporate world, you look more attractive when you show that you're working with more than you in your network. Like Sherry, if you want that deal and you say, hey, I've got a network of executive coaches in the emotional intelligence space ready to execute, let's go. They like that because you are de-risking yourself. You are a risk when you show up by yourself. When you use words like I and me, not a good look for corporate. So changing your language, we, my team, our network. So again, all action items that I'd love for you all to put down, okay? Any questions before we go to our final page? Is this helping anyone? Can somebody come off mute and let me know who finds this helpful today?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Okay, good. I just want to make sure it's making impact. All right, you all. Finally, we had an assessment that was all around evaluating our ecosystem. In that assessment, we talked about your capabilities, right? We talked about, do you have a capability statement? Is there anybody on this call who does not have a capability statement? We're not trying to shame you. We're just going to send you the template so you can create one. Does anyone need to create a capability statement because you don't have one?
Yes, I do.
Okay, thank you, Celine, for your, and it's so good to see your pretty face on image, right? Because I know, but so if one of our ambassadors, we have a great, awesome video, Celine, that has helped about 300 people build a capability statement. So if someone can put that in the chat, that would be great. It's called How to Build Your Capability Statement. We educate you and then we give you the template. I would definitely use that, okay?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Very welcome. So again, y'all, let's go back and talk about this part in action items. Number one, do you have a capability statement? If you do, when's the last time you updated it? Are you updating it every 90 days like you should be? Because some of you set it and forget it. You created it last January and it sat there. But guess what? You learn new things. You've had new clients. You've gotten new skills. Is that represented on there? It should be. Update that thing every 90 days, okay? We also talked about capital. Capital is going to be really important here. One of the things I want to say, and I won't harp on this, is that here at ProcuraFind, we have partners now. We have CDFI partners like Equity 1821, which Taja Graham helped to make that relationship. So a CDFI is an alternative when you all can't get approved through the bank, and because maybe you have credit score challenges, we've all had them. So I'm not trying to act holier. I'm just saying you may have challenges, right? Maybe you had a bankruptcy 3 years ago. Maybe your business hasn't made enough money, but you need the capital so you can hire and do things. A CDFI is an alternative to a bank. It stands for Community Development Financial Institution. And we have a partner here, Equity 1821. If you're in Indiana, they can help you. If you are outside of Indiana, all you got to do is email me and say, Dr. Dawn Nicole, can you provide a CDFI and we can get you some capital? Usually, I can't promise you, but I can get you connected. Okay. The other thing that we can do that I bet y'all didn't know is we have a partner here who will finance your contract. Oh, I'm going to say it again. I get so excited. If any of you all get a contract, okay, let's say that you guys get a $50,000 or a $200,000 contract. Here's the thing. They're not going to pay you the money until about 60 days or 90 days later because corporations pay on net 60 and net 90. So while that money is yours, it's locked up. You can't get it until you deliver, but you need the money to deliver. Well, that's why you need a contract financing friend. That's what they do. And we have someone in our community called the Watson Group. He's right on our partners page. So here's what I'm going to recommend. I'm going to put y'all on some game on this Friday. Here's what I would do. I would schedule a meeting with Gerald Watson. I will send you his information after this. We're going to put together a thank you email with all these links. Meet with Gerald before you need him. And when you meet with him, your conversation is going to go like this. Gerald, I want to know up front, how much contract financing money I pre-qualify for. Well, guess what? You're then going to take that and you're going to use that as leverage on your capability statement. It looks like this, Tasha Dash, pre-qualified for up to 2 million in contract financing. That actually helps you win the deal. But I bet y'all didn't know that. See, so I'm just putting y'all on some game. These are some things that they're not telling you that we should be saying. Do you know how strong your business looks when you're pre-qualified for capital upfront? That means you can handle major stuff. That means, Danita, instead of them looking for you to already be in a 5 million revenue bracket, because a lot of these companies don't want to do business with small businesses because they haven't hit the revenue size yet. And when you haven't hit the revenue size, Katrina, you know this, they look at us as a risk, because although you want to do this deal, you can't afford to do this deal. You might mess me up. You can't deliver 30,000 books. You don't have the capital to pay for the tariffs, right? So capital and revenue size matters to big companies. But if you already are pre-qualified, oh, come, y'all don't hear it. Come on, y'all. Come on now. So that's what you do. You get pre-qualified, you put that thing as leverage on your business capability statement, and it becomes a game changer, okay? But you got to be having the right conversations ahead of time. So you're going to get with Gerald Watson, and he's in our business directory, and he's also on our partners page. And if you need a warm introduction, I'm happy to make it for you. All right. The other thing, communicating the problem you solve. Are you clear? Have you tested how clear you are? Ask a friend what you do. How much capacity can you handle? So Sherry, what I love about your business is that it's great, but have you already tested how much capacity you can handle by yourself? There is an assessment that we should all do to say, I'm one person, and if I got a big job where I had to handle 35 executives for a major company, how much can I handle before I have to bring in partners? So doing a capacity check, how much can you handle before you have to tap other people in? Certifications, do you have certifications, not just diversity certifications? Do y'all have data policy certifications in 2025? Do you have AI certifications? These companies care about all your certifications, not just the diversity ones are kind of going away. So they don't care anymore, Sean, that we're just a veteran, right? Or I'm a Black owned or Hispanic owned or LGBT or whatever you know what I'm saying? They now care about all the other certifications. Let me give you an example. Do you have an eco-friendly certification? Are you an eco-friendly photographer? Do you use combustible, right, goods when you do your thing? Right? These things matter in 2025. These are your differentiators. Are you an eco-friendly business coach? Dawn Nicole, what does that mean? That means I no longer use paper business cards. I use digital cards. You can claim that you're being eco-friendly. That's one of your goals. Come on, y'all. I don't think, is this on? Hello? Can y'all hear me? Okay.
Dr. Dawn Nicole, I have a question. I'm sorry.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Do you have that information for us to know where to go to get these certifications?
Yes.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna ask.
In the training that we already did, so if you go back to assessing and applying to ideal clients, the video,
okay,
we have it there. We have it there in that video. Yep. So that you can go back and look at that. And
okay, thank you.
Yep. And then I will pull the participant guide. I think it was in that module's book, which is module 2. So I'll look and see if the worksheets are in that guide for you. Okay. Competitiveness. How competitive are you all against people who do what you do? How are you priced? Do you know? Do you need to go do some homework? Right? How is your pricing compared to other people? Have you checked? How have you checked? Have you called the other companies pretending to be a customer? Have you sent somebody else on the fact finding? You do need to know who your competitors are. And if you're a small business and you provide executive coaching, right, or you provide strategy management, your competitor is not KPMG. It's not Accenture, because those are billion-dollar companies. You're not a billion-dollar company. Your competitor should be similarly modeled like you. Who else who's in your market? How can you find this out? You chat GPT and you say, I live in Boise, Idaho. I am a woman-owned or veteran-owned business, right? I have a team size of 4 people. My pricing looks like this. Can you send me or give me public information of companies similarly modeled? Top 3. Very simple. Who are your competitors? And then have you reached out to introduce yourself? You might need them to win a contract, okay? So again, you all, please put your action items here, and then we're going to close out with our 90-day plan. Any questions on this slide? Any aha moments on this slide? Any people who are like, you know what? I did not even know that.
Yep, I think my
Oops,
go
pardon.
ahead. No, go ahead. Go ahead, hon. Go ahead.
Thank you, Tasha. I was just I put it in the chat, but when we went over this the first time, I think a week ago, last month, it was definitely a lot of aha moments. It allowed me to really reevaluate my business, but in a really good way. I was stretched. It allowed me to deepen my understanding of my ecosystem, what I need to thrive. And so I really enjoyed this part of the program because it just allowed me to be vulnerable with myself,
Yeah.
but also realize the power of working with others. So this has been remarkable information for me.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate you saying that. We're going to hear from Tasha, and then I'm going to say one thing, and then I'm going to call on Ty. Tasha?
I've been in a lot of programs where you do like a professional development where you invest in for your business. And I always tell you about go get the money, do this, do that, but they don't never give you a strategy. It's
Yeah.
more so they give you the end game. So
Yeah.
you have to reverse engineer it and figure out how do I get to this $1 million or how do I do this. But when you have a strategy
Yeah.
to be able to get there, like it's a game changer.
It
So,
is.
so it's just amazing to be able to do it. And you have to, what you always say is action. You actually have to do it. We can do all of this, but if we don't have the action to go behind it, we are back where we are with these other businesses, just hoping that we're going to get the
Yeah.
$1 million or whatever, you know?
You have to become the person who can do the thing, right? I can't just give you the steps to do the thing until you become the person who will do the thing, right? And that's becoming is such a mindset shift. So, and then real fast, Taja, in this book, because I feel like Sherry, you talked about how the last module around ecosystem was big, and I feel like Taja, you called me and said that was the chapter that was like, whoa. Can you just talk about that real fast?
Yeah, I mean, the fact that you were able to identify those key areas that need to be surrounding your business in order for your business to grow, and how to really engage them so that you optimize that growth was substantial to me. It was an aha moment for me.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
You better represent your book, Tasha Dash. You better have your book on the ready. Come on. Oh, look at Terry. Y'all don't play with me. Not on this Friday. Y'all better get the book. We put the link in the
But
chat.
we're in chapter 16 right now. Right now, we're in
Okay.
chapter 16.
Awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Ty Graham, let's hear you. Let's hear from you.
Thank you. Well, by the way, I just added the book to my Amazon cart, so we're good there. But one of the aha moments for me was when you said, you know, hey, do you have the capital if someone wanted 30,000 books? So I just released a book back in June, and I put in a proposal with BMW for the conference, and I'm thinking, well, if they call me and say, hey, Ty, we need 1,000 books, I'm like,
are you gonna?
Yeah. Right. So I'm like, okay, I need to think through that. So
I
so
love
yeah.
that. Thank
So
you, Ty.
yes, definitely gonna reach out or get in touch with Jeremy.
Yeah. Gerald Watson. Gerald
Gerald.
Watson. Yep. And we'll make sure to put his information, you all, in the thank you email for those who attended today. Celine, did you have a question?
No, it was more to also share, for me, I mean, I'm so glad I joined, this session because it's really helping me, building the foundation. All those are so like such foundational items, to basically succeed and run the business.
Yeah.
And because, I just basically opened my business, I mean, it's recent, it's about 8 months.
Okay.
So, I've been more caught in the running of it,
Yep.
and not in the building of it, if that
Ooh,
makes sense.
that makes
So
sense.
that has been, I mean, I'm so glad. Thank you so much for the gem that you gave us because it really helps me like redirecting and thinking about, okay, these are the things that I need to
Yeah.
grow. It's not just about, getting customers and more revenues and all that. It's just like
Right.
putting myself in the right position to be able to scale and
Ooh.
to have the right foundations.
That's so good. So let me just say this because it's at the end where the power happens, right? Where the fire comes out. And we're in the last 5 minutes and I'm gonna say some things. And so people who drop off before now, they miss this part, y'all. So now I get to talk to y'all while we're in our last 5 minutes. Let me say this. Sometimes we are running so fast doing what we've always done. We just run. That's all we know to do. We keep going. I found recently that we had to stop. What y'all didn't know is in the background, we stopped taking new members like 2 months, like we stopped for a minute. And people was like, we're not taking member. I was like, we got to stop and get this. We need to get some things together, right? And sometimes you have to slow down to speed up. If you keep on running and running and running, doing what you've always done, you're going to get what you've always gotten. And if you're not happy with what you've had, it is time for a change. Even if that means to be still, stop for a moment, be still, right? Do the work. And this is so important because I remember when I was in my 20s living in Atlanta, I had a friend who used to always say, Dawn Nicole, do the paperwork. He was like, our people don't do the paperwork. And because we don't do the paperwork, we miss stuff. We don't do the work part. We want the outcome, y'all. We want the story, but the work. So I'm imploring you, please stop, do the work. If that means you have to miss something temporarily, then miss it. Do what you need to do, right? I would rather put myself in a position to run long term and strong, which is why this is on the page, right? Instead of quick, short sprints. So I'm talking to somebody today. Some of us are so worried about that next dollar, right? I'm telling you to stop for a second, to prioritize, know your stuff, because it doesn't matter how many people you reach out to on HubSpot if you're still not right and you're still not ready. Okay? All right. And that's with love. So here's what we're going to do. We just created a list of a whole bunch of things page by page. But now what we need to do, my friends, is we need to prioritize it, because the reality is that you just can't do a whole bunch of stuff with the same valor at the same time. So here's what I'm going to get us to think about. I want you all to look at the list you created. We're going to use a technique that's called now, next, and later. The technique is now, next, and later. And I used to be a previous agile enterprise coach, right? I used to charge a lot of money to help enterprises use agile ways of working. And so now I just bring that over to my platform. So this technique of understanding, what do you need to do now? Now is in the next 7 days. Next is post 7 days, 7 days out, and later is probably within 14 days. And that's how you start thinking about now, next, and later. Now is immediate. Now is your signal. It's not the noise. You have to learn how to determine the signal from the noise. What is the signal I need to receive? That's your now stuff, okay? So here's what I want you all to do. I want you to take the things that you wrote down, right? And I want you to think about, what are the top 3 goals that you need to do right now? What are your now steps? You wrote down a lot of things today, but there are 3 things I want you to focus on in the next 7 days. What is your now stuff? What is your right now? Okay. So even though you're going to go back to your next, you're going to go back to your later, I just want everybody on this call to focus on their right now. In the next 7 days, I'm going to do what? Write that down. And then after you write that down, even though you have a list of 10 things, I'm getting you to focus on 3 right now. After you write down what matters right now, I want you to write next to it, why does that matter now? And add a due date. Because more important than what is why. Why does that need to get done right now? What will happen for you when you get that done right now? Okay. And because we don't have time to do this whole thing, you can do the rest on your own. It's pretty intuitive, but as long as you write down what is due right now in the next 7 days, when will I commit to getting this done? And how close am I? Am I a 1 or a 5? 1 being I'm far away from it, 5 meaning I'm closer to it, right? How close are you? And at this point, y'all, I know we're going to run out of time, but if you can identify your first 3 steps to do in the next 7 days, you're on your way. Okay. With that said, you all, was this helpful today as we come to a close?
Yes, very helpful.
Yes? Good, good,
Yes,
good.
it was great.
Yes.
Good, good. We will meet again. So I'll tell you this. This is the last one this year because next month is Thanksgiving on the right. And then we have Christmas, right? So this is the last one for the year. If you all need help refining this, we do have our certified supplier team who can review this with you, who can walk you through this. So make sure that there is people who can help you in our community. I will send the links for you all to book time with the certified supplier consultant, even if what you want them to do is walk you through your 90-day plan. Okay. With that said, are there any comments before we go and any questions? Comments or questions? All
I
right.
just want to
Hi,
give
Dawn.
a,
Yeah.
oops,
Go
just
ahead.
real quick. I just want to give a quick shout out to Danola. I worked with her and she has been remarkable. So just want to give a shout out to her and the work that she's done as a certified consultant.
Oh, awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Anybody else
Yeah,
before we go?
Dawn, Nicole.
Hey,
Yeah.
Dawn.
Yeah.
Whoever that was, they can go. Go ahead.
Go ahead. Michelle, was that you? Yeah, go ahead, Michelle.
I know I was just adding some information in the chat, also throughout, just reminding folks to remember that your local reference librarian is also available for helping you with some of the research that you might need and helping you to organize the research. That module number 2 is amazing. It really will set a really good foundation as you think about the companies that you want to work for or want to contract with. So I just highly recommend that. I had to look at that video like several times. So thank you very much, Dawn. Thank you.
Thank you. And that's what Michelle's company is, Data Business Friends. They help you pull previous bids so you can know who you're researching and how to research and how to price. Like, they're amazing. So thank you for that, Michelle. Someone else was going to speak. I don't want to cut you
That
off.
was me. It was Tasha.
Hey, Tasha.
I was telling someone about your one-on-one. So I didn't know if
Uh-huh.
you wanted to drop the link. She asked how can she do that, have a one-on-one with you?
Oh, yes, you can have a one-on-one with me. I
Yeah.
will drop the link and I'll put it in the thank you email too, just so I don't keep you all too long. But the certified supplier consultants can help you specifically with this part, you all, as far as walking you through your 90-day plan. I don't know if the NOLA is still on here, but I know that they do
No,
that.
she had to drop off.
Okay, and then my part, if you want to work with me, I'm going to change your model. So I'm the person to work with when you want to revamp, you want some deep strategy, and you want to play ball for real.
Yeah, that's
So
what she needs. That's what she was saying. So that's why I offered that because that's what I had. That's what you changed my whole business model. So yeah.
well, I'm gonna put that in the chat too for those who are interested, you all. And then finally, any reflections from this before we go? Anybody want to comment?